everyone, and welcome back to another speed build in The Sims 3. Today we are going to do a renovation of the house in Bridgeport, I believe is the town. And it's the lot called Back to the Fucia, I guess. I believe it's a starter home. So we're going to go ahead and do a renovation on that. So let's go ahead and get started. So real quick here before we get started, just a reminder that the 100 subscriber video will be coming out here pretty soon. If you want to get your question in, you best be getting them in really soon. I'm about ready to be probably recording that here probably not too much longer. And if you're not really too sure what it is I'm talking about, I am going to do a special video for the 100 subscribers, kind of a thank you video. And I thought I would go ahead and answer questions that you might have that you would like to ask me, either about the game or about me personally. I figured I would go ahead and answer your questions, and that way you can get to know me a little bit more, and that's pretty much what we're going to do. So get your questions in. We are approaching the 100 subscribers, and I will be making that video pretty soon. So get those in so your question can be answered. So anyway, back to our build here. I hadn't done a renovation in quite some time, and I had been thinking about coming back to Bridgeport. I really don't play in hardly any of the worlds. Mostly because I hate waiting for them to load. I tend to just go ahead and use my my custom world just because it loads quickly and I don't have to wait. But otherwise, I mean, they run fine. It's not anything about, whether or not they run good or anything like that. It just, I get tired of waiting for them to load. But anyway, this is the one in Bridgeport. I haven't been in this one in a long time. In fact, I don't think I've really played in this one since I got the game. And that's been quite a long time, actually. But anyway, this house ends up being 2-bedroom and 2.5 bath. So you'll have 2 full baths and then just a half bath. And those usually only have a sink and a toilet is what a half bath would be considered. And then it's going to cost approximately $99,000. So it's a little bit less than some of my other builds. I do tend to go over 100,000, and I've been known to go over 150,000. So I'm kind of happy with the fact that this one, I was kind of putting I guess you could say a limit on this one when I was building it. I didn't want it to be too expensive. Have you ever noticed how you always seem to have the cheap houses and then you have extremely expensive ones, but you never have that in-between house for your sim to go to as they're getting a little bit more funding, a little bit more money. So I went ahead and I kind of put a limit. I didn't want to go over 100,000, and I managed to do it. So I would like to try. For me, it's a challenge. I don't know about anybody else who builds, but for me, it's a challenge to try to create a home that offers more than 1 bedroom, but is middle priced, yet still be fully decorated. So that's gonna be one of them things. I think I'm gonna go ahead and try, see if I can do it. So but anyway, on this house, a lot of times when I try doing a renovation, I try to keep at least a little bit of what the house was originally. So if you hate the paint colors on the outside that I choose, that's fine. Go ahead and change them. That's kind of what the house was already in. I think I made it a little bit darker. I think I might have changed the color just a little bit, but that is why the house is still pink. And of course, I tried to update it. Make it look a little bit more updated with the brick and everything on the sides and things like that. So try to make it a little bit nicer. But I do try to keep a little bit of the house. Like the garage area is the same. That front room that just got the red carpet along with the staircase area, that was all the same. I never changed that. I just did all the adding and stuff around it. So a little bit of the original house is still visible. And of course I just went ahead and changed a bunch of other areas. And this house is going to offer a lot of decks. There's going to be a lot of balcony, or I don't know about a lot of balconies. There's at least one balcony. I can't remember what all it has. But it pretty much takes up the entire lot. So I did do a little bit of exterior decorating. You all know me. I'm not really an exterior decorator. I don't mind it once in a while, but it's really not my favorite. I actually would much rather just sit here and build the frame of the house. I love building and designing the house itself. I don't mind decorating. I don't mind doing floor plans. But decorating, I don't know. It could just be me. I just take too long. I just take too long. I don't know. I don't mind. I don't mind the building. You know, actually the build itself. I don't mind decorating the inside. I just take too long. So I get tired of doing it after a while. Cause you know me, I just take a little bit. But, so I went ahead and I sped this video up. It's around 8.5 times the speed. Just so we didn't have it at 30 minutes. It was originally going to be like at 31 minutes and whatever. And I thought, you know what? Even I don't like sitting there watching a video for 30 minutes. Unless unless the person talks the entire time. I don't mind. As long as a person at least talks to me. I guess that's how I kind of see it. They're talking to me. But, if it's just nothing, like just music or whatever, I tend to get a little bored, I guess you could say, with it. So, I thought, well, you know what? I'm going to try with The Sims 3. I'm going to try to get the videos a little bit shorter. I don't want to speed them up too much because I have that serious issue with some other builders who speed them up so fast that it makes me dizzy. So I really don't want to cause that problem with you, because whenever I get into a video, even if it's somebody that I do enjoy watching, if they're going too fast and it just kind of doesn't set with me well, I will just go ahead and turn it off. And I don't really want that for you. I want you to enjoy the build and enjoy listening to me talk. I don't know if you guys actually do or not, but I try. I was never a real big social person. I was never one to do a whole lot of talking. In fact, it was my first job that I ever had that actually made me talk to strangers, and it wasn't really my thing. I still was only the minimal, but it eventually helped and I got better at it. But I still not really, sometimes I have no idea what to say to you guys. I have no idea. So please give me questions. Give me a reason to talk. Give me something so I have something to talk to you guys about in these videos. Because honestly, I really don't know what to tell you. I could sit here and keep telling you about the build, but really my building style hasn't changed. At least I don't think it has. I might clutter a little bit more than what I used to, but I don't think it has changed. Seems like it's probably pretty much the same. Oh, and I think in this house, I don't think I used any store content other than a free item here and there, like that rotary phone or whatever it's called. You guys know me. I love that phone. I love antique phones. I don't know. I love them. So, and with that one being free, I use it a lot because it is free, and maybe you don't get any store content, and that's fine. I didn't for the longest time, but it's free. So get on there and get the free phone because it looks good and it's free. So nothing wrong with that. But this actually didn't take me too long. Renovations really don't take me very long when it comes to building. They just don't. I guess because outside colors have already been chosen for me, I guess. And I don't know. They don't take quite as long, I've noticed. But this is kind of the dining room. It is kind of a small house. It's kind of designed as if it was an older home that got renovated. And basically what I mean by that is in a lot of your older homes, they were all sectioned off. The rooms were separated. That was for heating purposes. They did that so they could keep the rooms heated. Big, large rooms, of course, were a lot harder to heat, so they didn't do that very often. In fact, you almost never seen anything with a really large room because of the heating. So everything was in small rooms and sectioned off with their own heat supply so they can stay warm. So basically this house is kind of like the older home but was renovated, and that is where the family room that is off of the kitchen gets, put in. I guess it's kind of how I was looking at it as was that's just kind of where the kitchen is, or in the family room. That's kind of where the add-on is and everything like that. So even though this is a renovation of that one story, I still kind of take my builds as if they were originally something else, or is still something of a different type. Even though I do try to keep the original look, I don't necessarily build with the original in mind. So but yeah, that would be basically the style, and the layout kind of is the same too. I guess you could say your living room area, or oh, now I can't think of what it's called. Oh my goodness, a sitting room or whatever your offices were usually when you first came in. Depending on your house style, you usually walked into an entranceway, and then they kind of branched off from there, and your kitchens were usually in the back. A dining room, a formal dining room, a lot of times would be in the front, but not always. A lot of times that was in the front, and then of course your kitchen was usually in the back, because most of the time back in the day, that is where the servants were, and the owners of the home did not want the servants to be visible. They had all kinds of secret little passageways and areas that they would go, and they had to stay as invisible as possible. So certain rooms were not really out in the open or out where any of the guests would see. So a lot of times your kitchen was stuffed in the back somewhere. That way they could do their cooking and washing of the dishes and stuff and not be seen. So if you're ever kind of wondering, why is a kitchen always in the back? Well, that's why, and it kind of stays that way through the times, actually, with houses. The kitchen still, for the most part, gets put in the back. So it just kind of stayed that way. However, they are getting more opened up for families to enjoy cooking and talking and socializing all in one. But they're still, for the most part, in the back. So, but anyway, now we're in the office. Like I said, the decorating isn't quite as full, and I guess you could say as much as I normally would do, because I was trying to keep this a little bit more affordable, but still be fully decorated, I guess, if that makes sense. So I still wanted it to be, in the middle range somewhere. I'm kind of shooting to try doing a $60,000 to $70,000 house next time, if I can. That has at least 2 bedrooms and be fully decorated. I don't know if I can do that. That's gonna be hard. But so yeah, it's not completely. I mean, I tried making it as decorated as I could, and still made it look as nice as I could, but at the same time not get too expensive on you. I want your Sims to be able to grow and move into different homes as they make more money at their jobs, and not kind of like my Sims tend to do and have to hoard all their money and still live in their starter home just so they can move. But yeah, here's the laundry room. If you don't like the laundry idea or whatever in The Sims, if you hate it, just remove the washer and dryer. I believe there's a clothesline that I put on outside. I mostly did it right there. It is just for looks, just for the heck of it, just because I kind of felt like it. Just leave those items and your Sims won't be doing laundry. If you do decide to keep it, there are hidden baskets throughout the house. I'm not going to say they are 100% hidden. If you turn the camera just right, you may find a basket once in a while. But for the most part, they're hidden. They're not out in the open because in this game, for some reason, I just find it tacky looking. And even in a house that I would be living in, I would prefer not to see somebody's basket full of laundry. So, and I hide them throughout the house and other areas because, you know, Sims, when they change their clothes, they're just going to throw the whole pile of it in the middle of the floor, and nobody wants that in their kitchen or living room anyway. So I try to hide one somewhere. That way when they change clothes, it doesn't get plopped on the floor, and it, you know, it still is cleaned up and things like that. So just going around doing a few more little things on the outside. Normally I don't try to go in and out too often. I try to stay in the same room just to help keep you from being dizzy. And as you can see, this room is obviously becoming the purple room. This is the master bedroom. I kind of put it as, because it has an attached bathroom. So it is a master suite with the bathroom attached. But it is kind of on the larger side. And I do end up realizing later, or maybe I end up adding it later, I decided to put a balcony in. I can't remember when I add that, because I don't think it's there. I know it is there, because I see the wood. I forgot about it. I forgot it was there. So I do end up going back. I don't know if that's on camera or not. I can't remember. I actually built this house quite a while ago. But I do realize that I forgot to put a door in right there, so the master bedroom will get changed a little bit to accommodate that door, and so you can at least go out to your personal balcony. So here's the master bathroom. Again, I try not to move that camera too much. It just seems to be easier for me anyway. I like to just kind of sit. I don't like moving the camera around anyway, so I would much rather just kind of sit in one view and make the adjustments of the furniture as the way I see fit. So here is the landing. It ended up being quite a large landing actually, and with as many doors and stuff that it did have, I really didn't know really what to do with it. I already had an office, so making that a place for a computer just didn't seem very good. And you wouldn't put chairs next to the railing because that would block the main walkway, and you wouldn't do that because you'd bump your knees and stub your toes and probably smack your hand just as much as I do on the furniture. So that's the one thing always keep in mind. The main the walkway areas that you would normally walk through from one area to the other, you do not block. That is just a little tip for you when you go to decorate your own home or apartment or whatever it is that you're going to be living in. You don't put anything in the way of the actual walkway. Clutter and decorate as much as you want, but you always, if you think about it, there's always that one walkway area or whatever from area to area that does not have anything in it. And there's a reason for that. So here's the spare bedroom. Make it for whoever you want. When I play, I just throw the child in there. I really could care less if it was for a child or a teen or a guest room. I just kind of stick them in whatever room. And there's been times where I had way too many kids and I end up sticking one of the kids in the same bedroom with the parent. So, you know, it don't really matter to me. I just decorate. I really honestly could care less whose bedroom it actually is. So just kind of pretty much finishing it up. This is where I'm just going through adding some of the baskets because I don't always know if I'm going to do a laundry room or not. So I'm actually kind of surprised I didn't have the exterior area of this house completed beforehand. Normally I do. So I don't know. For whatever reason, I went ahead and went inside. This must be when I decided to make this a balcony. And this is where I'm getting that all taken care of. And as you can see, now I'm cleaning everything up. I suggest definitely always clean all that stuff up. Most of the time they don't cause a problem, but every now and then they cast a shadow. So always clean those up, those little tidbits from your roof. But here I'm going ahead and added that door for you. So rearranged the master bedroom a little bit and we do a little bit of decorating. I'm not saying there's a lot, but there is some in the backyard. Not really my thing. So if you want this lavish yard, then go right ahead. But I got you a little bit of a start there. Your Sims can at least sit outside and eat. So I was told I put too many big trees in front of this house and I can't see the house. But you want to know something? I feel that trees and plants give it character. So who cares if you can't necessarily see the house like clearly? I hate it when people have a house and they have nothing in the front yard. It's like, really? You spent how much money buying that house and now there's nothing in the front yard. It's bare and there's nothing there. Well, I like to have something there. So if you hate them trees, then go right ahead and delete it and you'll give your Sims some money. So that's one thing you can do with it. Just start deleting stuff and you'll have money. I can't remember what I was doing here. I don't remember. Apparently it didn't get recorded. I just now noticed that I put in all the recordings that I had, but obviously it did not get recorded or whatever it is I just did. I must have been fixing something and said heck with it. I must have fixed it off camera and just figured, I don't know what I was doing. So as you can see, the roof is there. So I don't know. I don't know. I just took these pictures of the house today, so at the very same time that I am doing this voiceover. So the house is there, the roof, whatever I was doing is fixed. So don't worry about it. I don't know what it is. It was too long ago and I can't remember what I did. So, but anyway, here are the screenshots. I hope you enjoyed. And just a reminder, get your questions in so they can get answered. And I will see you next time. Have a wonderful day. Bye.